Salve te omnes, let's continue with the Aeneid, Book 2. Instamus tamen in memores caecique furore, et monstrin felix sacrata systemus arce, tunc etiam fatis aperet Cassandra futuris, ora Dei iussu non umquam credita teucris. Nos delubra Deum mysteri quibus ultimus esset, illa dies festa velamus fronde per urbem. Nevertheless, thoughtless, we press on, and blind with fury. If we want to make that translation a bit smoother, we could say, nevertheless, thoughtless, and blind with fury, we press on, and, et systemus, we establish the unlucky monster in felix monstrum, at the sacred citadel. Actually, this is a participle, so if we want to be a bit more literal, we could say we established the unlucky monster at the citadel having been dedicated, or having been made sacred. And this is an ablative of place where. This is where they are establishing the unlucky monster, aka the Trojan horse. Tunc etiam, even then, Cassandra opened her mouth with future fates, having been never believed by the Trojans by the order of the god. So let's look at this a little bit more closely. Even then, Cassandra, here's our verb, aperet, opened, here's our direct object, ora, her mouth, with, here's our ablatives, fatis futuris, with future fates. So this is Cassandra prophesying. Non umquam credita. This whole phrase, non umquam credita, modifies Cassandra. So it's Cassandra not ever believed by the Trojans, teucris, by the Trojans. And now we gotta go over here to de iusa, yes, de iusa, by the order of the god. So this is referring to the story of Cassandra, as I have noted out here. Basically, what happened was Cassandra wished to be a priestess of Apollo, and Apollo saw her and saw her beauty, and he wished to sleep with her. So he tried to convince Cassandra to sleep with him by giving her the gift of prophecy. And Cassandra was grateful for the gift, but she wanted to remain chaste and she did not want to sleep with Apollo, so she continued to refuse his advances. And that's whenever Apollo decided, after he felt spurned and rejected by Cassandra, to turn her gift into a curse. So now she still had that gift of prophecy, but no one would ever believe her. So she would be warning the people she loved about doom and destruction, and she would try and prevent these things from happening by telling these prophecies, but no one would ever believe her. So she would know about all the bad things that are going to happen, but nothing could ever be done about them. And she seems like a crazy person to everyone, on top of all that, because she's spewing these prophecies, but everyone just looks at her like, we don't believe you. It's very sad. Okay, continuing on. Nos delubra Deum miseri quibus ultimus esset, ille dies festa velamus fronde per urbem. We wretched ones, for whom that day, ille dies, was the last, ultimus, that looks a lot like ultimate, right? Which would be last. So for whom that day was the last. Here's our verb, velamus, and notice it looks a lot like veil, which is basically what it means. They veil, or we cover the delubra, the shrines, deum, syncopated form for deorum, the shrines of the gods with festive foliage. Here's our ablatives. With festive foliage. Per urbem, through the city. So this is all just very tragic. They've brought the horse into their city, they're celebrating it. But remember, Aeneas, as the narrator, is looking back on this and he is shaking his head, saying, that day is going to be our last day, and here we are celebrating and acting so foolish whenever that night total destruction would hit our city.